What if I told you your life isn't really yours? That every frustration, every bill you can't pay, every day you feel tired and directionless is not a coincidence. It's a program, a code that's running in your subconscious right now. And the scariest part is, you wrote it. You wake up and say, I'm exhausted. That's not a feeling, it's a command. You look at your wallet and think, I have no money. That's not a fact, it's an instruction. You've been using the most powerful words in the universe against yourself, forging the bars of your own prison without even realizing it. But today, that programming is going to be interrupted. Thousands of years ago, the Egyptian sage Thoth revealed a secret that's been hidden from humanity. There are two specific words that work as the admin password to your reality. They're not abracadabra or words from some ancient language. They're two words you already use every day, but in the wrong way. They are the key that can destroy your current reality and build a new one in its place, almost instantly. I'm going to reveal these two words to you. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the 3-step ritual to activate them and enter what Thoth called the divine state, a frequency level where the universe has no choice but to obey you. Most people who discover these words fail because they ignore step number 3, and that's the one that separates simple information from real transformation. Stick with me until the end, because what you're going to learn isn't just a theory. It's the instruction manual for the universe that was taken from you. Before we continue, if you feel ready to break the code and take back control, comment below. I am the programmer. You've become a master of using this alchemy to create what you don't want. By focusing on lack, you become an alchemist of scarcity. By focusing on illness, you become an alchemist of disease. The power was never absent. It was just misdirected. The good news is, the same force that builds the prison is the one that can tear it down. The key is in gaining new power. It's consciously redirecting the power you're already using every second. It's about waking up to the fact that your words don't describe the world. They create it. Understanding, this is the first major breakthrough. Your words are decrees. Every sentence that begins with I am or I'm is a direct command that carries your identity embedded in it. It's not a wish. It's not a request. It's a declaration of who you are in that moment. And the universe, like a loyal servant, doesn't question the identity its master assumes. It simply materializes it. You have the power of a king who forgot his crown and spent his life describing himself as a beggar. And reality, obediently, treated you that way. Now imagine you could take that same power and use it in your favor. Imagine aligning your words not with the circumstances you see, but with the reality you choose to create. That's the secret that's been hidden for millennia, the truth about your creative nature. This isn't about superficial positive thinking. It's about a deep identity shift, starting with how you describe yourself. Next, we're going to face the universal mirror that blindly executes every command you transmit, and understand why it never questions or edits your script, no matter how destructive it is. This universal mirror isn't like the one in your bathroom. It doesn't just reflect your physical appearance. It reflects your essence, your vibration, the deepest state of your being. Physicists call it the quantum field or unified field. Mystics call it the divine mind or ether. The name doesn't matter. What matters is its function. It's a perfect mirror, absolutely neutral and impersonal. It doesn't love you or hate you. It doesn't reward you for being good or punish you for being bad. It simply reflects, with flawless precision, the frequency you're emitting right now. Think about those times when, out of false humility, you rejected a compliment by saying, "Oh, it was nothing. I'm not that good." In that exact moment, You sent a command to the mirror, reflect a reality where I'm not good enough. And the mirror obeyed, bringing situations that confirmed your belief. Or think about pessimistic realism. When you look at the world and declare, it's impossible to thrive in this economy. You think you're just being a smart observer of reality, but in truth, you're giving a direct order for the mirror to show you only closed doors, difficulties, scarcity. The big turning point here is brutally simple. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Your desires are irrelevant if your state of being contradicts them. You can spend the whole day wanting peace, but if you're vibrating anxiety and anger, the mirror will reflect chaos. You can dream of wealth, but if your inner state is one of lack and fear, the mirror will reflect unpaid bills and missed opportunities. Your state of being is your true request. The frequency you emit is the prayer the universe always answers. Now bring this to your own life. Your health, your finances, your relationships, all exist as a field of infinite possibilities. There's a version of you that's perfectly healthy, a version of you that's immensely prosperous, a version of you living a full, loving relationship. All of these realities exist simultaneously as potential, but the one that manifests, the one you experience, is the one you give your attention and identity to. When you identify with illness, you collapse the wave of disease. When you identify with scarcity, you materialize lack. You are the observer who chooses which possibility becomes real. This law of pure reflection is ruthless because it's impersonal. The mirror doesn't care if the reflection pleases or destroys you. Its only function is to reflect. That's why people stuck in victim cycles keep attracting situations that victimize them. They emit the frequency of "I'm a victim," and the quantum mirror obediently organizes reality to give them more reasons to feel that way. It's not punishment. It's just physics. It's the law of resonance in its purest form. What you transmit is what you receive. No exceptions. The reason positive affirmations often feel fake is because you're fighting a losing battle against your own programming. Imagine your subconscious is a massive radio station, broadcasting a signal 24/7. This station has been programmed over your entire life by your parents, society, your past experiences. For many, this radio is tuned to "Life is Hard" FM or "I'm Not Good Enough" AM. The signal is powerful, constant, automatic. Now imagine you decide to change. You pick up a tiny handheld radio, your conscious mind, and try to tune into a new station. "I am prosperous and happy." You do this for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night. What happens? During those brief moments, you might even hear the new music. But as soon as you get distracted, the overwhelming broadcast of your subconscious station drowns it out completely. The dominant frequency always wins. It's not about willpower. It's about volume and consistency. That's how temporary states turn into fixed identities. Maybe you went through financial hardship at one point. It was an event, a circumstance. But you repeated the story so many times, felt the fear of lack so intensely, that the temporary state of being broke crystallized into a permanent identity of being poor. The experience became a program, and now that program runs on autopilot, sabotaging any conscious attempt to create prosperity. Your subconscious simply doesn't believe the new story. The fatal mistake is trying to jump from one extreme to another. If your dominant programming is "I'm a failure," and you try to force yourself to believe "I'm a total success," your entire system goes into red alert. An inner voice screams, "You're lying." That resistance creates an internal conflict that actually reinforces the old belief, because the emotion attached to it is much stronger and more familiar. It's like trying to convince someone with a fear of heights to jump off a building. The survival system just won't allow it. The key to bypassing this resistance is the technique of interruption and neutral substitution. Instead of making a quantum leap, your mind will reject. You take a believable step. You interrupt the negative thought, "I'm broke again," and instead of replacing it with an unrealistic positive, "I'm a millionaire," you insert a neutral aligned statement. Something like, "I'm in the process of learning how to master the energy of money," or "I'm opening up to new forms of income and prosperity." See the difference? These neutral statements are like a bridge. They don't trigger the alarm of your subconscious because they're not a lie. You really are in a process. You really can open up. This approach disarms resistance and starts building a new neural path, a new possibility in your mind. It's the first step to rewriting the dominant program. You're gently teaching your system that a new reality is possible, without scaring it. It's an act of diplomacy with your own psyche. Quantum physics gave us an invaluable gift with the observer effect, and it's time to use it as the powerful tool it is. Your repeated self-descriptions, the thoughts you have about yourself all day long, are not harmless. They are acts of observation. Every time you think, "I'm so clumsy," you're acting like a scientist in a lab, forcing the field of infinite possibilities to materialize the experience of being clumsy. You're literally collapsing reality with your attention. Think of your identity as the motherboard of a supercomputer. It's the foundation, the core operating system on which all other programs run. Your emotions, your decisions, your actions, and therefore the results you get in life, are just the software installed on that motherboard. If your motherboard has the code "I am not enough" written on it, you can try to install the Financial Success 2.0 program, but it'll never run right. It'll crash, glitch, or just not open. The software is incompatible with the operating system. That's why changing just your actions rarely works long term. You can follow all the steps to get rich, but if your core identity is one of scarcity, you'll find a way to sabotage your success. You'll lose the money, make a bad investment, or simply feel so uncomfortable with abundance that you'll subconsciously push it away. Real, lasting change doesn't happen at the level of action. It happens at the level of identity. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. The change has to happen at the motherboard level. Which brings us to a simple, powerful framework for conscious creation. Identity generates emotion, which generates action, which generates evidence. It all starts with identity. You first decide who you are, not based on your past, but based on your choice. For example, I am a magnetic and confident communicator. That new identity, when sustained, begins to generate the corresponding emotion. You start to feel more confident, clearer, more inspired. That emotion, in turn, inspires aligned action. You speak with more conviction in a meeting, express your ideas without fear, and that action inevitably produces evidence. People respond positively. Your ideas get accepted. That external evidence then reinforces your new identity, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. The sages of antiquity, like Thoth, already warned about the danger of using incorrect names. These names are the labels you stick on yourself. I'm shy, I'm sick, I'm unlucky. Each label is a sentence that traps your consciousness and locks your soul into a repetitive pattern of suffering. When you define yourself by your limitations, you give them the power to become your permanent reality. Changing the outer world, therefore, requires first dissolving these internal labels, refusing to name yourself based on past weaknesses. You need to understand that you are not your habits, you are not your past, you are not your failures. These are things you've experienced, not what you are in essence. Your true identity is pure consciousness, with the ability to choose what to focus on and what to become. Freedom begins the moment you stop identifying with the programming and realize you are the programmer. You are the observer who decides which version of reality collapses. You are not the shadow on the wall of the cave. You are the light that casts the shadow. This shift in perception is what separates the master from the prisoner. The prisoner believes they are defined by their chains. The master knows they are the key that can unlock any door. Reality is not happening to you. It is responding to you. It is responding to the identity you choose to assume in each moment. The time has come. Let's open the ancestral record that enshrined the two most powerful words in the universe and reveal why using them is not an act of ego, but the purest act of divine alignment. After building all this foundation, understanding that your identity shapes your reality, we're now ready to reveal the two words that work as the master key to creation. These words are so simple they've been ignored, and so powerful they've been hidden in plain sight. The words are, I am. Not as part of a sentence, but as the sentence itself. A decree of existence, a statement of being. When you say I am, you're invoking the most fundamental power of the universe and directing it through your consciousness. The depth of these words echoes through time. In one of the most sacred texts of humanity, in the book of Exodus, when Moses asks God for his name, the answer isn't a name. It's a declaration of pure existence. I am that I am. This isn't a definition. It's the absence of definition. It's absolute being, without condition, without beginning or end. It's the source of everything declaring itself. And what does this mean for you? It means that when you use the words I am, you are claiming your divine inheritance. You are aligning yourself with the same creative nature as the source. Using I am is not an act of arrogance or ego. It's an act of coherence. It's recognizing that the same intelligence that created galaxies and suns flows through you, and you have the innate right to direct that creative flow. For too long, you've used this power unconsciously, attaching it to limitations. I am weak. I am poor. I am sick. Now, you will claim this power and use it deliberately. You will stop describing yourself and start declaring yourself. This requires a radical shift in your language and thinking. Stop saying I'm trying to get healthy. Trying implies effort and possible failure. Instead, declare with conviction, I am health. Stop saying I hope to be prosperous one day. Hoping puts you in a perpetual state of lack. Instead, anchor the frequency. I am prosperity. This isn't lying to yourself. It's an act of frequency leadership. You are broadcasting the signal of the reality you choose to anchor, and the quantum field, the universal mirror, must reorganize around your command. This truth is the backbone of countless mystical traditions. In the Emerald Tablets, the Master's voice declares its identity as a being who is one with the All. In Hermeticism, the goal is the identification of the individual consciousness, the nous, with the universal divine mind. In alchemy, the supreme moment of the great work is the conjunctio, the sacred marriage, where the seeker finally merges with their goal. They no longer seek the philosopher's stone. They become the philosopher's stone. Likewise, you don't seek happiness. You become happiness. You declare, I am happy. By doing this, you stop asking your current reality for permission to feel a certain way. You don't need external evidence to feel abundant. You declare, I am abundance. And by sustaining that frequency, the external evidence is forced to appear. You become the cause, and your reality becomes the effect. It's the complete reversal of the paradigm most people live in, where they wait for the world to change so they can feel good. You feel good first, and the world changes in response. This is your power tool, your magic wand, the two words that can create or destroy worlds. Whatever follows the phrase I am becomes your truth. You've been using this magic carelessly, like a child playing with fire. Now, you'll use it like a master, with precision, intention, and awareness. But just saying the words isn't enough. The transmission must be clean, without noise. Next, we'll align mind and heart so the universe hears your command loud and clear. Speaking the words I am with a mind full of doubt and a heart full of fear is like trying to send a clear radio message during a solar storm. The command comes out distorted, corrupted, full of static. The universe receives mixed signals and, as the perfect mirror it is, reflects the chaos right back to you. You say I am peace, but you feel anxiety. The universe reflects the anxiety. You say I am love, but you feel resentment. The universe reflects the resentment. The word alone has no power if it's not carried by the corresponding emotion. The key to a pure and undeniable transmission is brain-heart coherence. This isn't some vague esoteric concept. It's a real physiological state, scientifically measurable. Institutes like HeartMath have shown that when you experience elevated emotions like gratitude, compassion, or joy, your heart rhythms become more ordered and coherent. And surprisingly, the brain begins to sync its own rhythms with those of the heart. In this state, your body and mind operate in harmony, creating a powerful, ordered electromagnetic field around you. It's in this state of coherence that your I am commands gain real power. When the thought in the brain, I am prosperous, is in perfect sync with the feeling in the heart, the emotion of gratitude for the abundance already present, your transmission to the quantum field becomes a laser of focused intention. No more mixed signals. Mind and heart are singing the same song, and the universe has no choice but to dance to the same rhythm. It's the union of the electricity of thought with the magnetism of feeling. You can deliberately induce this state through a simple protocol. First, focus your attention on the area of your heart. Place your hand on your chest if that helps. Breathe a little slower and deeper than usual, imagining you're breathing through your heart. This alone starts to calm your nervous system and regulate your heart rhythms. You're signaling to your body that you're safe and present. The second step is to activate an elevated feeling. The fastest and most effective way to do this is to evoke gratitude. Think of something or someone you're genuinely grateful for. It could be your pet, the sun on your face, a happy memory. Don't just think about gratitude, feel it. Let the emotion fill your chest, warm and expansive. Gratitude is the frequency of receptivity. It's the vibrational signature that says you've already received what you desire. Now, with a heart full of gratitude and a focused mind, silently or softly declare your I am. Sync the declaration with your breath. Inhale, feeling the gratitude. Exhale, declaring I am health, I am love, I am clarity. Feel the words resonating not just in your mind, but in every cell of your body, carried by the powerful emotion you've generated in your heart. This is the true act of effective prayer, feeling the end result as if it were already real. The ancient Hermetic initiates sought the harmony of the spheres, the perfect alignment between the mental, emotional, and physical planes. Heart coherence is the modern, scientific application of this ancient principle. In alchemy, this stage is known as the chemical wedding of fire, representing will and mind, with water representing emotion and heart. When these two elements unite in perfect proportions, they create the divine vapor, the force that catalyzes true transformation. With a clean transmission, we face the final gatekeeper, the body. It's programmed for survival and can sabotage your new reality. Let's learn how to get it on board. You've aligned your mind and heart. Your transmission is clear and powerful. But there's one final gatekeeper standing at the threshold of your new reality: your body. Your body is a living archive, a library of emotional memories stored not in thoughts, but in sensations and chemical reactions. It remembers every trauma, every fear, every pain you've ever felt. And its primary directive, above all, is survival. It's been programmed to keep you safe, and to the body. What is familiar is safe, even if it's familiarly painful. Now, imagine that in your past, having more money brought family conflict, or being in the spotlight led to humiliation. Your nervous system, intelligently, created an association: prosperity, danger, visibility, threat. So now, when you, with coherent mind and heart, declare "I am prosperous and visible," your body might panic. It triggers the survival alarm, flooding your system with cortisol and adrenaline. You feel anxious, suddenly want to procrastinate, or even experience physical pain. It's your body protecting you from the perceived threat, sabotaging your new identity to keep you in the familiar comfort zone. We must, therefore, re-educate the body. We need to teach it, in its own language, that the new identity is safe. We can't do this with logic or arguments. We have to do it with sensations. The body understands the language of physical safety and relaxation. If we can associate the new state of I am with a physical feeling of peace and safety, the nervous system will start to lower its guard and accept the new programming as safe. Here's a practical anchoring exercise. Close your eyes and remember a moment in your life when you felt completely and absolutely safe. It could have been a moment in nature, a hug from someone you love, or just a deep moment of peace in your own home. Don't just think about the memory, relive it in your body. Feel again the relaxation in your shoulders, the calm in your breathing, the sense of warmth and tranquility in your chest. Let that physical sensation of safety fill your entire being. Now, while you're immersed in that feeling of safety and bodily peace, gently introduce your new identity declaration. With a relaxed body and a calm heart, declare to yourself, "I am prosperous, and I am perfectly safe. I am loved, and I am at peace. I am powerful, and I am relaxed." The key is to fuse the new identity with the physical sensation of safety. You're creating a new neural association. This new state of being isn't a threat, it's a sanctuary. The great master Thoth taught that the body is the temple of the spirit, and that its harmony is essential to manifesting higher states of consciousness. If the temple is in alarm mode, the spirit can't operate. In the language of alchemy, this phase is called fixatio, the process of fixing and stabilizing the new substance so it doesn't break apart and revert to its old form. This is where your I am stops being just a mental concept or a passing emotion and becomes written into your biology, into your flesh and blood. By practicing this anchoring of safety repeatedly, you are literally reconditioning your nervous system. You're showing your inner guardian that it no longer needs to protect you from abundance, love, or success. You're convincing it that your new identity is the safest place to be. Mind, heart, and body are now aligned, vibrating on the same frequency, transmitting the same signal. We are now ready to activate the silent law that attracts realities without any effort. Up next, resonance. The power to make the world vibrate with you. With mind, heart, and body finally aligned, you become a perfectly tuned musical instrument. You're no longer a bundle of conflicting noises, but a pure, clear, sustained note vibrating through the universe. And this is where the real magic happens, a phenomenon known as resonance. Imagine that you're a tuning fork. When struck, it vibrates at a specific frequency. If there are other tuning forks of the same note in the room, they begin to vibrate along with it, without being touched. They simply respond to the matching frequency. You, by sustaining the clear note of your new I am, become that first tuning fork. From this point forward, the struggle ends. You no longer need to chase opportunities, force doors open, or run after your desires. Effort and battle, hallmarks of the frequency of lack, give way to magnetic attraction. Your corresponding reality, which once felt distant and unreachable, starts to vibrate in harmony with you. The right people show up in your life as if by accident. The idea you needed pops into your mind in a dream or a random conversation. The missing resource materializes from an unexpected source. This isn't luck or coincidence. It's physics. It's the law of resonance in action. You no longer chase the world. The world is drawn to you. The universe starts to bring you evidence of your new identity. If you're vibrating I am abundance, you start finding money on the street, receiving unexpected discounts, closing deals with ease. If your frequency is I am love, you start receiving more smiles, having kinder interactions, and attracting people who reflect the harmony you feel. Synchronicities become normal. You think of someone, and they call you. You need some information, and it shows up in front of you. The outer world becomes a constant echo of your inner symphony, confirming every step of the truth of your new vibration. However, for this note to remain pure, you must become a vigilant guardian of your own frequency. This requires a practice we can call vibrational hygiene. The first step is watching your words. Every complaint, every piece of gossip, every self-deprecating phrase is like throwing mud on your finely tuned instrument. They introduce noise and distort your signal. You must commit to using words only to build, to uplift, to affirm the reality you've chosen, eliminating the habit of using language to describe what you don't want, what you lack, or what bothers you. The second step is hygiene of your environment. Your physical space is a direct reflection of your internal state, and it also influences it. A chaotic, disorganized space full of things you don't love or use keeps your energy stagnant and stuck in the past. Organizing your home, your office, your workspace is a powerful act of signaling to the universe that you're making room for the new. A clean, ordered space promotes a clear mind and high frequency, while clutter generates an energetic field of confusion and stagnation that drags you down. Information and relationship hygiene are equally crucial. You can't vibrate peace and prosperity while spending hours consuming news that sells fear and scarcity, or engaging in pointless arguments on social media. Likewise, you can't maintain a high frequency if you're constantly surrounded by cynical, negative people who drain your energy and mock your dreams. You need to consciously choose what you allow into your mind and energetic field, spending more time with content and people who inspire you, lift you up, and resonate with the new identity you're building. This practice of resonance is the essence of the Hermetic principle of correspondence: as above, so below, as within, so without. Your internal reality creates an exact match in your external reality. In alchemy, this is the phase of multiplicatio, multiplication. It's when the philosopher's stone, your realized state of being, begins to transmute everything around it into gold. The attraction has begun, but to keep it from wavering, we need to install a daily loop that makes the divine state your new automatic default. Up next, the 3 steps to stabilization. Magnetic attraction has begun. Synchronicities are happening, but mastery isn't about having spikes of high frequency. It's about maintaining a high state consistently. Consistency is the glue that turns a spiritual practice into an embodied identity. It's what transforms the new state of being from a sporadic event into your new normal, your autopilot. To reach this stabilization, you need a simple and practical tool that you can use dozens, maybe hundreds of times throughout your day. solidifying your I am with every small choice and action. This tool is the Stabilization loop, an incredibly quick and effective three-step process: pause, feel, and act. It was designed to be used in the micro moments that make up your life. Before sending that important email, before making a business call, before making a financial decision, even before responding to your child. In each of these moments, instead of reacting from your old autopilot programming, you consciously apply the loop, turning every action into a deliberate and aligned act of creation. The first step is pause. It lasts just 1 second. It's a switch. In the instant before acting, you stop, just stop. Take one deep breath. This simple act of pausing breaks the hypnotic pattern of autopilot. It creates a tiny space between the stimulus from the world and your response. In that space lies all your power. In that 1 second of pause, you stop being an unconscious reactor and become a conscious creator. It's the moment you take back control of your awareness, stepping out of the current of habit and into the shore of presence. The second step is feel. It lasts about 3 seconds. In the space you created, you intentionally connect with the feeling of your I am. You ask yourself, who do I choose to be right now? And you feel the answer in your body. I am clarity. I am confidence. I am patience. You don't have to think hard. Just evoke the quality you want to embody in that moment and feel it in your chest, in your posture, in your breath. It's a quick identity check-in, an instant realignment with your highest frequency before any interaction with the world. The third and final step is act. From the state of being you just evoked, you act. You write the email as the person who is clarity embodied. You make the call as the person who is confidence itself. You respond to your child as the person who is patience and love. Your action is no longer a reaction from your conditioned past, but a natural expression of your chosen identity. The action becomes the consequence of your state of being, not an attempt to reach it. It flows effortlessly, with power and authenticity. The ancient Hermetic mystery schools trained their disciples to guard the gates of mind, speech, and action. The loop, pause, feel of the act is the modern and practical application of that constant vigilance. It is the alchemical premeditatio, the act of keeping the secret fire of your consciousness always burning, so the great work of your transformation doesn't cool down and regress to old patterns. Every time you apply the loop, you strengthen the new neural pathway, making the new identity more and more automatic and natural, until it becomes who you are. We've reached a point of power, where the knowledge you've gained needs to be crystallized into a form you can easily remember and live by. This is the moment to seal your new awareness, to consolidate the entire journey into a personal manifesto, a set of principles that will serve as your compass in creating your new reality. This isn't just a summary. It's a code of conduct for your new self. The 7 fundamental laws that will govern your existence from now on. Keep them. Meditate on them. Live by them. For they are the map to your return to power. The first law is, my identity comes before my circumstance. This means you will never again define yourself by what you see on a bank statement, in the mirror, or in medical reports. Your current reality is just the echo of past thoughts. Your true identity is the one you choose now, in this very moment. You are the cause, and your life is the effect. You lead, and reality follows. Never reverse this order again, because that is the source of all human imprisonment. The second law is, the universe is a mirror that reflects who I am, not what I want. With this, you let go of the mindset of begging, pleading, or wishing. You understand that the quantum field doesn't respond to empty words, but to your vibrational frequency, your state of being. Your job is not to convince the universe to give you something, but to become the person who already has it. The change isn't external, it's internal. The world doesn't need to change for you to be happy. You need to be happy for your world to change. The third law is, I interrupt the old program and install the new one with neutrality. You recognize that abrupt change creates resistance, so you become a master of smooth transition. You learn to interrupt the negative thought pattern without judgment and install a neutral, aligned belief as a bridge to your new state. You stop fighting your mind and start dancing with it, gently guiding it toward freedom, disarming its defenses with patience and wisdom instead of brute force. The fourth and fifth laws work together. My mind-heart coherence is my power of transmission, and my body is safe and aligned with my new state of being. You understand that a powerful command is born from the union of clear thought and elevated feeling. And you know that this new frequency must be anchored in a body that feels safe within it. So you practice coherence through gratitude and teach your nervous system that prosperity, love, and power are your natural and safe state, associating your new identity with the feeling of peace. The sixth law is the natural result of the previous ones. I attract by resonance, not by effort. By maintaining a clear, coherent, and stable inner frequency, you activate the law of magnetic attraction. You stop chasing butterflies and instead tend your garden so they come to you. Effort, struggle, and force are replaced by allowing, flow, and attraction. You become a center of gravity for the reality you desire, and the right things, people, and events begin to orbit around you naturally. The seventh and final law seals your commitment. My daily consistency locks in my divine pattern. You understand that mastery is the result of small actions repeated with intention. Through the pause, feel, act loop, you turn every moment of your day into an opportunity to reinforce your new identity. Now, to seal this manifesto, place your hand over your heart. Take a deep breath and declare with the full presence of your entire being the master phrase that encapsulates everything. I am that I am. The knowledge is sealed, but what would it be like to live this with every breath? Up next, we go beyond theory and into direct experience. The knowledge has been sealed, and now we enter the most subtle and powerful phase of the entire journey, the final transition. It's time to go beyond techniques, to release the tools that brought you here. The goal was never to turn you into someone who does affirmations or practices visualizations for the rest of your life. The goal was always to bring you to the point where you become the very truth you once needed to affirm. It's the shift from doing to being. I am is no longer an event in your day. It becomes the very fabric of your consciousness. Think about the difference between saying, I'm trying to be happy, and simply being happy. In the first case, there's effort. There's a distance between you and the desired state. In the second, there's no distance at all. Happiness is not something you're chasing or doing. It's what you are. The practice has dissolved into the practitioner. You no longer need to remember to be prosperous. You simply operate from a natural assumption of abundance. You don't need to try to be confident. Confidence has become your default setting, the quiet backdrop of all your actions. To ease this transition into the state of being, there's a powerful technique that shifts the focus from affirmation to embodiment. The state question. Instead of forcing yourself to affirm something that may still trigger some resistance, you ask yourself a simple, open-ended question. Throughout the day, in the face of any choice or situation, ask, how would the person I am, prosperous, healthy, loved, act right now? What would the person I am do in this situation? This question is genius because it bypasses the resistance of the logical mind. It doesn't state something. It invites exploration. It immediately puts you, energetically and imaginatively, into the state of being the person who already has what you want. The answer doesn't come as a logical thought, but as an impulse, an intuition, a natural action. You simply know how that version of you would act, and then you act accordingly. By doing this repeatedly, you are rehearsing and embodying your new identity in a fluid and effortless way. In Thoth's deepest teachings, the true master is not the one who needs to manipulate the universal laws with effort and rituals. The true master is the one who embodies the laws within their own being. They no longer need to invoke power, because they have become the power. Their mere presence harmonizes the environment around them. This reflects the concept of living from the end. You're no longer trying to reach a destination. You begin the journey already being there, in consciousness. You don't seek a result, because you've already become the person who naturally possesses it. This is the point where manifestation becomes effortless. You stop trying to create your reality and simply allow it to unfold from your state of being. The actions you take are no longer strategies to get something, but natural consequences of who you've become. You act generously not to become prosperous, but because you already are prosperous. You treat others with love not to receive love, but because you already are love. Action becomes a reflection, not a cause. This is true freedom. It's the end of the search. You realize that everything you ever sought outside of yourself already existed within you, waiting to be lived, to be embodied. Practice is no longer necessary, because you've become the practice itself. You are the peace you were looking for, the abundance you were wishing for, the love you were waiting for. But what happens when the outer world, with its old reflections, tests your new identity with challenges? Let's learn how to use that pressure as the final fuel for your transformation. The moment you embody your new state of being, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will present you with tests, not as punishment, but as confirmation. Inevitably, life will bring situations that seem to directly contradict your new I am identity. You declare I am abundance, and an unexpected, scary bill shows up in your mailbox. You declare I am confidence, and get hit with harsh criticism at work. You declare I am perfect health, and an old physical symptom pops back up. This is the most crucial moment of the entire journey. It's what I call the mirror test. The quantum mirror, which has reflected your old identity for so long, is still showing some echoes of the past. And by presenting this challenge, reality is asking you a direct and powerful question. Are you sure? Who do you choose to be now, in the face of this? Is your new identity just a fantasy for good days? Or is it your unshakable truth even under pressure? Most people fail this test. They see the challenge, panic, and instantly regress back to the old frequency of fear and lack, but not you. You understand the game now. You realize that every challenge is not a sign that the law isn't working, but the golden opportunity to prove, to yourself and to the universe, that your decision is final. Every contrast is a chance to reaffirm your new identity with even more conviction and power. The challenge didn't come to break you. It came to strengthen you. It's the weight in the gym of consciousness, there to build the muscle of your new belief. Without resistance, the muscle doesn't grow. To pass this test with mastery, you can use the contrast response protocol. The first step is recognize. See the challenge for what it is, an echo from the past, a shadow, a test. Don't deny it, don't resist it, don't panic. Just observe it with the calm of someone who knows that it no longer defines who you are. Look at the bill, the criticism, the symptom, and acknowledge its presence without identifying with it. It's just a passing cloud in the sky of your awareness. The second step is thank. This might feel counterintuitive, but it's extremely powerful. Say internally or out loud, "Thank you. Thank you for clearly showing me what I no longer want. Thank you for giving me the chance to choose again and strengthen my new identity." Gratitude instantly neutralizes the energy of fear and resistance. It places you back in a position of power, turning what seemed like an attack into a gift, a tool for your growth. The third and most important step is reaffirm. With even more strength, presence, and conviction than before, you declare your truth. Looking straight at the challenge, you affirm, "Despite this, I am abundance. This situation is temporary, but my identity is eternal. Even with this criticism, I am unshakable confidence. This symptom is just an old memory, because I am perfect health and vitality." You use the energy of the challenge itself to catapult your conviction to a new level. You've learned to stand firm, to hold your frequency even in the face of tests. Now, your manifestation journey evolves to an even higher and more refined level. Co-creation. Manifestation, in its early stage, may feel like a one-way street. You set your intention, align your vibration, and attract the experience. But co-creation is a dialogue, a continuous, fluid dance with the intelligence of the universe. You don't just send commands. You also learn to hear the responses, notice the whispers, and follow the signs the field sends you. At this stage, you realize that the infinite intelligence of the quantum field might have plans and possibilities for you that are far greater and more magnificent than your limited mind could ever imagine. You stop trying to control every detail of how your manifestation will happen and open yourself to the magic of surprise and the unexpected. It's a dance of leadership and surrender. You lead with the clarity of your I am identity, the what and the who, but you surrender the how and when to the wisdom of the universe, trusting that it will find the fastest, most efficient, and most joyful path for you. Co-creation is the difference between drawing a detailed map and following every street rigidly, and simply entering your destination in the GPS and trusting it to guide you along the best route, recalculating when necessary. Your I am identity is the destination you enter into the cosmic GPS. Intuition, synchronicities, and inspired impulses are the turn right and turn left instructions the universe gives you in real time. Your only task is to stay tuned in and follow the guidance, even if it doesn't make logical sense in the moment. To cultivate this ability to listen, you can practice what I call active receiving. Take 5 minutes of your day, not to ask or affirm, but to listen. Enter your state of coherence, feel the truth of your I am, and then, in silence, ask the field an open question. Universe, divine mind, source, what do you want to create through me today? Show me the next step. What's the most aligned action I can take right now? And then, be still. Just observe. The answer won't come as a booming voice from the sky. It will come as a sudden impulse to call an old friend, as a creative idea that seems to come out of nowhere, as an unexplainable urge to visit a certain place, as a knowing of what to do. These are the whispers of the universe. The mistake most people make is ignoring these impulses because they seem small, illogical, or unrelated to their big goal. But in co-creation, it's exactly these small steps that weave the path to the big manifestation. In Hermeticism, the nous, the divine mind, isn't just a force to be accessed, but an intelligence to actively collaborate with. The initiate learns to transcend their personal will, which is limited and ego-based, and align it with the divine will, which is infinite and wise. By doing so, they stop being a small creator struggling with their own strength and become a channel. a partner of the very creative force of the cosmos. A far greater creativity, power, and grace begin to flow through them. As you engage in this dance of co-creation, your life becomes a magical adventure. You're constantly surprised by the elegant solutions and perfect opportunities the universe orchestrates for you. Life stops being a series of problems to solve and becomes a series of mysteries to uncover with joy and curiosity. You have become a co-creator. But how do you make sure this transformation is permanent and becomes your own nature? The answer lies in final embodiment. We've arrived at the stage of mastery, the culmination of the inner journey. This is where all the techniques, practices, and concepts dissolve, because they've fulfilled their purpose. I am is no longer an affirmation you say, a technique you use, or a state you try to activate. It has fully merged with your consciousness. It has become as natural and automatic as your own breath. You don't think about it anymore. You simply are. The practice has completely dissolved into the practitioner, and there is no more separation. In this state of embodiment, the need to remember who you are disappears. You no longer need to remind yourself to be prosperous when paying a bill. You simply operate from an innate, silent assumption of prosperity, and your actions naturally reflect that. You don't need to try to be confident before a presentation. Confidence is your default setting, the operating system running quietly underneath everything you do. The search has ended because you realize you've always been what you were seeking. The clearest sign that you've reached this state of embodiment is the absence of effort. You can do a naturalness check-in throughout your day. Just observe, without judgment, how your thoughts, feelings, and actions are already flowing naturally and spontaneously from your new identity. You notice that you're no longer trying to be patient. You just are. You're not trying to be grateful. Gratitude is the natural emotional tone of your day. The absence of inner struggle is the ultimate proof of real transformation. In alchemy, this is the state of the philosopher's stone. The stone, once created, no longer needs effort to perform its magic. It doesn't need to try to turn lead into gold. Its mere presence, its vibration, is enough to catalyze transmutation in everything it touches. In the same way, your mere presence, now fully embodied in your chosen I am, begins to harmonize, elevate, and transform the reality around you without you having to consciously do anything. Your vibration becomes your service to the world. People will feel this in you. They might not be able to name it, but they'll feel calmer, more inspired, or more joyful in your presence. Opportunities won't just appear. They'll seem to chase you. Problems that once looked like mountains now reveal themselves to be mere grains of sand, easily stepped over. Life loses its weight and seriousness and takes on a quality of lightness, grace, and flow. You've stopped swimming against the current of life and learned to float, letting the current carry you exactly where you need to go. This is the state that masters from all traditions have pointed to. It is Buddha's nirvana, Jesus' kingdom of heaven, the Tao of the Taoists. It is not a physical place, but a state of consciousness. It is the return to your original state of unity, power, and peace, before the layers of conditioning and false identities were placed on you. You didn't become something new. You simply remembered who you've always been at your deepest core. You didn't add anything to yourself. You just removed what wasn't real. If you've made it this far, drop in the comments. The words of Thoth are alive in me. That phrase is your signal that something inside you has awakened, and that you are no longer available to be controlled by unconscious programming. And if you want to support this channel more directly, there's a link to contribute in the first pinned comment. Any help you can give is really important to me and to the growth of this channel. It's what allows more content like this to reach the people who need it. But just the fact that you've watched all the way to the end is already a huge contribution. If this video made sense to you, share it with someone who's ready to remember who they really are. And before you go, don't close the video just yet. A special piece of content was handpicked just for you. Click the video that's showing up on your screen now, and I'll meet you there.